Okay, so I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock p.m. For the Heritage Committee meeting on April the 12th. We're going to start with the land acknowledgement. We would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the town of Shelburne resides within the traditional territory and ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, including the Ojibwe, Potawatomi, Chippewa, and the people of the Three Fires Confederacy. These traditional territories upon which we live, work, play, and learn are steered in rich Indigenous history and traditions. It is with this statement that we declare to honor and respect the past and present connection of Indigenous peoples with this land, its waterways, and resources. We encourage residents to review the call to action information by visiting the dccrc.ca website under educational links to further research and educate oneself. And we're just going to do a quick review of the committee terms of reference. They are in the agenda for you. You would have received them already. Just a reminder that the meetings are going to be virtual. We do ask that if you're aware of anyone that wants to attend the meetings, that you do not share the link with them, that they register through the clerk's office, through the email clerk@shelburne.ca. The meetings will be recorded and posted on the town's YouTube channel. All committee members need to adhere to the conduct and ethics in the municipality policies. And if you have any questions about those policies, please don't hesitate to reach out to the clerk's office. Okay, the mandate specifically for the Heritage Committee is on page 14 of your agenda, and it's the Heritage Committee is to provide information about the history of our community, conduct research into the past, and educate the public through walking tours and literature. The committee is to advise council on identifying, conserving, and promoting heritage resources in the community and recognize buildings and properties of historic or architectural value in accordance with the Ontario Heritage Act. The committee can also advise council on recognizing individuals who have contributed to the preservation and promotion of heritage in Shelburne. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the committee roles and expectations? Okay, seeing none, the committee members are required to declare any pecuniary interest, which is financial interest. So if you have a pecuniary interest, you can declare that at the beginning of each meeting or when the topic is discussed. Okay, so the next portion of the agenda is the selection of the committee chair and vice chair. So I'm going to open the floor for nominations for chair. If anybody would like to nominate somebody for chair of the committee, you may nominate yourself as well.
I don't know, Linda did a great job.
I would second that if she's open to it.
I don't have any problem with that.
So Linda, you accept the nomination?
What?
So you accept the nomination to be chair?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lindsay, Kyle, okay. And do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I would nominate Lindsay vice chair.
I think I was vice chair before too,
I was
right?
gonna say, I think she did a decent job last time too. Yeah.
I was just your backup because you were so good at it. So yeah, I'll accept that nomination.
Okay, so thank you for seconding that, Bella, and thank you for accepting that, Lindsay. So we have a recommendation, be it resolved that Linda Buffett be appointed as Heritage Committee Chair and that Lindsay be appointed as Heritage Committee Vice Chair. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that recommendation, please? Moved by Kyle, seconder.
I guess I can second that. I don't know, I suppose.
Yes, you can. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
And all in favor of that recommendation? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Okay, Linda, if you would like to take over the chairing of the meeting at this point, you may.
Okay. So item number 5 is 2023 budget review. And I just wanted to ask, has everybody had a chance to look at the budget? Because it looks like we have $11,100. And then I guess we're gonna have to look at where we want to allocate funds, whether we do that tonight or another meeting. I guess it's up to the committee. But anybody got any comments regarding that?
I think it got passed, right, for us, through council to have money brought from our grant or budget or whatever to come to, the Heritage Committee. Did it get approved for the whole, what did I ask for, 20,000? That seems like a lot.
So maybe we can ask Alice or Jennifer, if the $11,000, is that new money from the budget? Because it says adopted budget, and or is that money plus what we already had in reserve, as you were saying?
Right.
'Cause I'm not sure.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
The Heritage Committee last September wrote a resolution to increase the budget to 10,000.
Okay.
Previously, it was at 3,500, so this is the 10,000 requested from last September. This doesn't include any monies that are held in reserve fund.
So what's that $1,000 of heritage labor referred to?
So that pays for staff time to be here. That pays for
Okay.
that's Alice's wages.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want to discuss at this meeting what we want to do with the budget, or do we want to leave that for another day and go through some of the other items first? And then maybe have this be at our next meeting, give some thought to what we want to spend money on. Any comments? Kyle?
Kyle?
Thank you. One of the things, being part of the selection committee, in interviewing all these people for all the different committees, one of the things that came up that kind of struck me that I thought Heritage could actually take and run with. We have a lot of walking trails, but a lot of our community don't know anything about them. It might not be a bad idea for us to look into possibly creating some kind of a brochure or online information, something or other, so that our community can know about our walking trails, where they are, how to access them, and where they go.
Okay.
Okay.
Jennifer, do you have any comments about that, or Alice?
Just a reminder that during COVID, we did create an app. It's called Get Walking Shelburne. So we may be able to expand on that information as well.
Yeah. For me personally, I'd love to see, again, us jump into another mural, right? Try and get maybe that one at the west end of town. I know it was really difficult because we just couldn't seem to get an answer back from the owner of the building that we had kind of really wanted to put it on. And then again, both Linda and Kyle had great ideas with, sort of Jack Dowling Park with, that electrical box or whatever, and covering that in. So even something like that would be great. I think we have to still finish up that back lane brochure. I know it's almost done, I think, right? Because I think there was a few things that still need to be added because we needed to finish naming the back lanes. So I think we should definitely be working on that, soon, I guess. And then I love maybe an idea too of, I don't know if you would do it in a brochure or if we would just sort of throw it, kind of as an information session or section online. But we have a lot of names in our town for streets, and those names have history. So it would actually be really cool to, you know, like for example, I live on William Street. I'm assuming it's named after William Jelly, right? But there are people who might live on, you know, certain streets, Rintoul, for example, you know, and some of the newer subdivision streets as well, that don't know why their street is potentially named their street, right? So it could be kind of cool to do a little bit of research, like regardless, I mean, maybe each of us get, you know, 5 street names, and we do a little bit of research. It doesn't need to be like an essay, but you know, a couple of paragraphs that just say, you know, Rintoul is named after so and so who lived in the town of Shelburne for this long, or whatever. I'm sure the Rose Book would help us with that too, if we needed some information. And then we can either, like you said, we can either sort of create an actual live living document that can be sort of added to and edited and whatnot when needed, or we have a little section on our official you know, website that sort of is, you know, heritage, and then, you know, find out what your street, you know, why your street is your street name, right? And the history or the heritage behind that. So I don't know, like whatever you guys are thinking, but that was just something new I thought to maybe bring, you know, to the committee as an idea. And then I don't know, budget wise, what we, you know, we would need to pull from that, but yeah, just a thought.
Yeah, I was also thinking, I remember when Steve Weaver was talking about design guidelines, and about the fact that at one of the council meetings that I was watching, having a heritage district in place so that we can actually enforce design guidelines, as opposed to someone, you know, like, you know, there are ones in the past that have just been very basic and plain. We want to make sure that we get heritage features in all new things that take place, whether it be not necessarily signage, but facades or just new buildings going up as an infill projects. So I don't know whether that requires any cost from our side of things, but it might require some kind of a report coming from council.
Right.
Or from the planner. So maybe Jennifer, you could comment on that. Do you know?
Yes, so that would be incorporated into a community improvement plan. So the community improvement plan will identify a heritage business district, and it'll also include a facade improvement program.
Okay, and do we know when that might start, or what steps we need to take as a heritage committee to have some say in that?
Right now, we're waiting on the town planner to bring forward further information. I believe council adopted it prior to the election, this community improvement plan.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so the community improvement plan has been adopted. We're just waiting for the town planner and the economic development coordinator to cohesively bring forward to council those new programs within the community improvement plan. What also needs to be identified is a budget for those as well, which will be done all through council.
Okay. So that budget would be not part of heritage money?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments about what we were just talking about?
Sorry, sorry, Linda.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the agenda, but I can't see the budget. I know we've already spoken about that. Was the budget attached to the same email?
Yeah, there's a sheet that has a chart that shows the budgets from 2021 up to 2026, and then it highlights in a dark shade the 2023 amount, which at the bottom is 11,100.
I show it as page 16.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's-
Page 16.
yeah.
Page 40 or 47.
I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Alice, did you want to say something?
Yes, I would just like to mention to you that we have in the clerk's department received a request for information from a company that does do murals, and they have reached out indicating they would like to do a presentation to the town of Shelburne. And we are going to, once we get meetings coordinated, we're going to try and coordinate a meeting with the Arts and Culture Committee together with this meeting, and see if we can get them to do a presentation to both committees at once in regard to the murals and what they can provide. So just wanted to make you aware that that will be upcoming on a future agenda.
Is that another local company?
It's not a local company, but it is a company that has done murals for many municipalities.
Okay.
So we didn't get a lot of information from them, just a brief package, but we are going to try to coordinate something with both committees to get them to come and present.
Okay.
It's always good to have information. I'm obviously privy to, or you know, I want local over anything else, but it's always good to have information.
Yeah. Okay. So we've dealt with the budget. Is there anything else we want to discuss regarding budget, or are we good to leave things as they are for now?
I think the only last thing was the little key tags that we were thinking of doing, which was going to have sort of a heritage plaque type of replication look, but it would be the town incorporation date or whatever. Pretty sure that I can convince Len to help us out on those now. So,
Okay, well,
yeah, so I'll chat with him a little bit more and see what maybe he can do for us, so then I can come back to you guys with a budget. And I think that either it's up to you guys whether you want to use those as a fundraising tool, or if we want to just give them out so that people know we exist, right? Like the Heritage Committee actually is here. So if we have a booth or something at like Canada Day or at the Fall Fair, or, you know, whatever, you know, one of us or whoever could be there and just giving information out about, you know, our back naming or a back lane brochures, for example, they could be handed out to people who are attending, so that they know kind of we're here and what we're trying to do. Maybe even get some information from them as to what they want us to do in the town. And then we could either have those there sort of for sale and it be a sort of a fundraising thing for us, or we could give them out with the back lane naming brochure. So whatever you guys think, but I think it'd kind of be cool. So I'll chat with Len again and see what we can kind of come up with and what he feels you know it would cost, and then I'll come back to you guys with that, so we can.
So on the
add that to the
costing,
budget.
did we have a number amount, a number of units that we were going to be requesting? 100, 1,000, whatever.
I know that
don't
he
know.
could do quite a few on a single sheet. So I can't remember though, because it was so long. It was like 2018, I think, when we did that for the street festival. But I know it wasn't very expensive. Like, and I know prices have gone up material wise and whatnot, but it was a crazy number. Like, I think he got like 150 on a sheet or something like that, and it was like $50. Like it wasn't really expensive, but
right. Sorry, Lindsay, don't mean to interrupt, but if I remember right, those weren't 3D printed. He was actually cutting those out of sheets, correct? They were printed on the
Yes.
sheet and then cut out.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So kind of like a CNC. So and it was like a resin plastic. So and it was weird because it was like a I think it was a 3 layered plastic, because I think it was black, and then a beige in the middle. So when he laser sort of cut out our design, it went kind of beige, but you still had that black as the sort of the surface. And then it was kind of beige when he cut into it, right? So it was really cool. Like it was really neat. And you're exactly right. Every one of them sort of just got cut out after the design was done.
Right. If I remember right, though, I don't believe that Len owns the equipment. I believe that was while he was still at the school. So we would have to have him coordinate with us to whoever's running that at the school.
Yes, exactly. So I'm assuming he still has some connections.
I would think,
and like, and I'm hoping that maybe he can convince them that it's for kind of a good cause. It's, you know, Heritage Committee within Shelburne and not profit and stuff like that, right? So fingers crossed. But I will ask him if he remembers how many he can get on a sheet, and then we can kind of budget from there, right? Like So if he can do 100 per sheet and a sheet's only $50, maybe we want, 500 key tags type thing, right? Or whatever. So, but again, those are just random numbers. I don't have a clue. But I'll chat with him and see what he thinks. And then that way I can get you guys a better number, and then we can budget from there.
Okay. Yeah, so if you can maybe ask him to do it in increments of, like, if there's any discounting for higher volumes of tags and so forth.
Perfect. I think the only thing maybe is, I don't know if we would have to come up with a design. I'm not sure, Kyle, did you send him a design? Do you remember, for the street festival? I mean, it was really just our logo, but you're muted. Kyle, you're muted.
Nope, sorry.
There.
I thought I hit it.
You did, and then it went back.
So I can't remember. We had him do it for the Street Fest for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yes, it would have been. I would have given him a logo that he would have then translated into whatever. So realistically, I mean, I've already got the Shelburne logo. If we wanted to have that as the logo, I can certainly get that in the format that he needs. If we want something different, let me know what you need. I can certainly create whatever's necessary.
Perfect. I don't think it's anything too intricate. What we would need is just sort of maybe, I don't know if Jennifer, we have an image of what the heritage plaques kind of look like, and we would just sort of replicate that. So it's almost like, nothing too fancy, but it'd say like Shelburne, Town of Shelburne Incorporated, and then in the middle would probably be the year, and maybe like an oval border, something like that, or a little fancy.
It does have to be simple because of the size.
Yeah.
I mean, it's laser. They do have high detail they can do, but because it is very, very reduced, simpler is better.
Yeah, I mean, what he did with the Street Festival logo was amazing, and they were small, like I said, they were just keychains, not super huge, and the detail, like he got, it was crazy. I was even surprised, like with the motorcycle and the car and everything, all the details, like it really did work well. But again, yes, it needs to just sort of be simple and just sort of replicate what the heritage plaques look like that we put on the homes here in town. Perfect. I will get on that.
Okay, okay, so the next item, B, is the excuse me, the meeting schedule for this year. So just comments, like, I don't know about everybody else, but Wednesday's a good night for me. Anybody else want to just touch base on that as far as Wednesdays being the day that we continue on with each meeting?
I don't mind Wednesdays, and I just need to make sure if we do change it that it doesn't conflict with any of the other committees that Kyle and I are on, right? So I know as of right now, I don't know about Kyle, but I know for me, Wednesdays would work. It would be fine because it doesn't conflict with the library board or the fall fair or the arts and culture committee, all that fun stuff. So so I'm cool to vote still for Wednesday.
Yeah, how about everybody else? Is Wednesday still good? Because I have a problem with Thursdays, so that's why Wednesday seemed to work better.
For me, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday would be my preferred days throughout the week. Any one of those, and I know Alice takes care of me and makes sure that I'm not double booked. So I trust Alice to keep me out of trouble that way. But aside from that, Mondays and Fridays typically tend to be very, very busy for me. So any of the 3 days, any of the 3 days in the middle of the week is okay with me.
Yeah. Bella, where is she? I don't see her.
Well, the good thing about being on the soccer executive is that we were able to move the practices to Tuesdays and Thursdays now as of next week.
Okay.
Because this meeting's going to be on Wednesdays, right?
Right. Unless somebody has some urgent reason to change it. Yeah.
Okay. So my class is until 7 on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then we're moving his soccer. So this will be on Wednesdays.
You'll be able to do 7 o'clock then?
If your class goes until 7, Bella, and I'm just going to put this to the committee, could we move it to 7:30 just to give her some breathing room after her class, maybe?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with that too. I mean, we try not to make the meetings too long, right? So if we can try and keep it to an hour or under, then hopefully staff is okay with it being maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, this meeting may be a bit longer because we're just
Yeah.
starting up, but other than that, it doesn't usually last that long.
So does that work with staff and with Bella? Bella, would it help you if we moved it to 7:30 instead of 7?
Oh, yes, greatly.
Okay.
But then
Does
you're
that
not
work
rushing.
for Jennifer and Alice then?
So Jennifer won't regularly be joining anymore. You'll be stuck with just me. So I'm fine with 7:30. I would also request that it be maximum cut off at an hour and a half, as you know, my day does start at 8:30 in the morning. Makes for a long day, but yes, I'm fine with starting at 7:30. If I could just also, Linda, get you to determine which Wednesday of the month and how often.
Okay.
Well, usually once a month, and the
Yep.
Monday that we have now, that same month, or the same Wednesday would be fine with me as far as everybody else is concerned, I'm assuming that would work.
Yeah, normally, it's the first Monday, or sorry, the first Wednesday of the month.
Right,
And then, like you said, Linda, monthly.
we'll just stick with the first Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
So do we need a motion for that? I don't, or we just,
I think that still works out, right, Jennifer? If we wanted to, I know we had some issues where if we wanted to bring something forward to council, we were always, if it was the first Wednesday of the month, I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll do what we can.
yeah, I'll just go to
And
the
if we
next.
have to wait,
meeting.
if we have to wait a council meeting, we wait a council meeting. It's not a big deal.
Linda, the BIA, when does the BIA meet regularly?
Tuesdays,
Is it Tuesdays?
What we'll do is we'll put this on a calendar and bring it back for a resolution.
Yeah. okay, sounds good.
And sorry,
Okay.
did you have something?
I have the BIA as Wednesday nights, the first Wednesday night of the month.
Oh, I wasn't at the meeting last time because I was sick with no voice.
But there was a meeting last Wednesday that I was supposed to be at, but unfortunately I had a conflict that I couldn't be there.
But normally it's not always been on a Tuesday.
Is it?
So
Okay.
unless somebody suddenly changed it, I don't know anything about that because I was at every meeting except the last one.
I don't know. That's why I raised it, because last Wednesday was when the meeting was. So
Maybe it was because it was better for Carol. I don't know. Carol was making a presentation.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay,
Okay.
we can try to determine that between now and then, and we'll bring the recommendation on the next agenda that it be the first Wednesday of the month. But if for some reason that is the BIA night as well, then we can discuss that at that time.
I
Okay.
thought
Yeah.
the agenda was 55 pages.
No,
It
it's just a
is.
whole lot of information. Make sure you've got it on file.
I didn't realize it was just one page.
55 pages.
I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be a long meeting.
It's just information that's provided in it's the agenda package.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so now we got dealt with that. So item C is review and comments for the planning application for 250 Main Street. And I guess everybody has all the images there and reports from that applicant. Just starting off, I'll just make some comments. I think actually they're quite attractive and that they're in keeping with heritage designs. And maybe we could use some of these ideas for the next application that we're going to discuss. Anybody got any specific comments about the drawings?
No, I feel like you, Linda, they look pretty heritage-like. I mean, I really like the one where it's got, I don't know if it's brick. I'm not sure if I read that it would be brick, but it's got the sort of the stone on the corners, or at least the different color on the stone on the corners. And then it's got like almost like a bay window sort of at the front. So that one looks really, really nice, like very
that's
heritage.
the existing one where
Okay.
the real estate office is. And
Gotcha.
because they have both properties together that were severed. You want the
Okay.
white and black
Okay, so
one
I'm like, that one I love.
the severed one. Yeah.
So it's more the white one then, the white building?
Right.
Yes,
So
okay.
it's just
okay.
showing it being compatible with the one next to it,
Right.
not gonna be identical, obviously, but they're going to be with heritage features. And
Okay, yeah, and it looks like you said, it fits in at that point, so I think that that's good. I do worry about the color white though, like it really does. If it's white,
And
if
I
it's
don't know,
gray,
like,
yeah, like
it could
maybe,
be light yellow or something, or
yeah, or like, I don't know, even a muted gray or something, like white just is like, I worry that it looks a lot like the Apollo building on the main street, if it's gonna be that white. Like it's
Right.
just gonna be so bright, right? So I wonder if there's just a way that they can mute the color a little bit, but the design concept itself is beautiful. I love the wood at the front with
Right.
the porch. The windows look nice, the sort of little widow's peak kind of thing on the top. I like that too. It's just my
that's
concern is the
normal.
white might just be too white.
Okay, Kyle, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I feel the same way. The white concerns me. The other thing I'm trying to figure out, based on the pictures, is this siding or is this board and batten that they're looking at?
It
We
could be
don't-
one or the other, like, we just need to find out, I guess.
If it's board and batten, I would much prefer that over siding.
Yeah,
Board
I would
batten-
prefer that too.
Yeah, board and batten would look far more heritage, would certainly fit a lot better. And
Yeah.
even if they painted it white with board and batten, that wouldn't be stark white, which is siding.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Kyle.
Technically speaking, white is not a color, so if we just said light
True.
colors, with the exception
True.
of white, which is not a color, then
Yeah.
that would be acceptable as board and batten, so. Do we want, anything else we want to add to that?
I think Jennifer had her hand up, actually.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I just want to
Okay.
let you know, so when I left work tonight, I took a picture of what's across the street. They did the property across the street, and there's an addition onto that one.
Okay,
And I took a picture and wanted to show
oh, good.
you, let's see if this works, what that looks like across the road, and if maybe you're
Yeah,
thinking of let's see.
Yeah, that's what I picture as board and batten. So if they're doing something like that, I like that.
Yeah.
and that could very well be the case, because that's where the
And the
Ulster
color.
lives, in the other side of the street there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that, like that color too. It's
Maybe
just
you wanna go
a little
with that
more
color.
muted. It, natural, kind of blends in a bit, but still looks,
So maybe we can,
contemporary.
maybe we can make a reference to the fact that we would like it to be muted colors similar to their existing property
Yeah.
across the street.
That address is 302 Main Street East.
Yeah, 302, yeah. And other than that, I think we can make a comment to the effect that we are quite pleased with the design that they've come up with.
Mhm.
That it meets most of the heritage design features that would have been in 100-year-old homes back at the time.
Can we request a board and batten facade versus a siding?
We can ask,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as a request, not necessarily.
yeah, as a request. Because
Or
I would
that
assume that
might
they
be
might be
cheaper,
doing
too.
that. Who knows?
Depending. I mean, I know wood is expensive now, but it could still maybe
Well,
work out
everything's
to be a cheaper
expensive.
option for them.
Yeah, siding is equally, if not more expensive, I think, so board and batten may be a little bit less costly.
Yeah.
It looks actually more natural looking. Okay, any other comments from anybody else in the committee? If not,
No, I think otherwise.
do we need to make a resolution to that effect?
Yeah, so Bella has her hand up,
Okay.
but then yes, I will need a resolution, please.
Oh, it's just a comment that I'm glad we're keeping the heritage building looking like Shelburne. That's all.
Okay, good. So, does somebody want to put forth a motion to the effect of what we had just said with regards to
So
the,
would you like me to read what I typed out and you can correct
Yeah,
me if I'm
sure.
wrong?
Yes.
So I have, be it resolved that the committee receives the concept designs for B2201 250 Main Street East, and that the following comments are recommended. That the color be a more muted color, in brackets, light gray, similar to 302 Main Street East, And secondly, that the exterior be board and batten instead of siding.
Yeah. Very good with that. So can I get a mover for that? Lindsay and Kyle seconded. Okay, all in favor? And that's carried. Okay. So, okay, the review of the next application is the northwest corner of Main Street West and Gordon Street, the one that was at the council meeting last Monday. And realizing that it's probably early stages, but still, I'm not too excited about them. I think they need to be a little bit more details that are similar to heritage buildings, because it looks more like a 1960s two-story building to me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's a box.
Yes. Well, not just that, but the what do you call it? The dormers up on the top are very small.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem normally, except that with this, because it's a semi, it would be nice to see a dormer the size of the previous applicant drawings, where the dormer is much bigger and occupies a bigger space. Alice, did you have something to say?
Would you like me to share a picture of the property you're discussing right now, so it's visible on the video for those watching in the future?
Yes, that'd be good.
Would that be all right?
Sure.
Just give me one moment and I'll put that up. All right, it's very small. I'm going to try and make it bigger for you.
Yeah. Good.
Is that visible?
Yes. So if you were to look at the dormers at the top, the one on the left and the right, if you double those in size so that it occupies about 2/3 with the space in between of the upper roof, similar to the previous applicant, that would be one thing. And then the windows, the other one also had some small window panels within the window itself. Again, that would be something that would add a bit more character to the windows in those dormers. And similarly with the windows above the awning that's coming off at the front entrance there.
Well, something else I'd like to see as well. I mean, from the previous applicant had, these roof lines are dead straight. There is no breaking of these roof lines at all. It really adds to the look of a box. I'd like to see that roof line broken up somehow to get it. I mean, if you look at any heritage building, they all look for aesthetics that draw your eye to the building, not okay, it's a wall. That's basically what we're looking at here.
Yeah, and that would coincide with what I was saying about these things being bigger. If they were bigger on the top, then they would protrude out more, and then they'd be more noticeable. Because right now it might be out 6 inches or a foot or something, which is not much. But with it being a larger size, it'd be more.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kyle
and then
might be.
The other comment I was thinking of regarding the garage doors there. We could also look at, instead of having them look like regular garage doors, again, using the vertical detailing with something that looks like an older, I'm trying to think of a word, a thing that you move back and forth on the garage door itself that makes it look more of a heritage kind of a feature. There's a word for that and I can't think of it at the moment.
Thinking of carriage doors?
What's that?
Are you thinking of carriage doors?
Yeah, maybe carriage doors is what I'm looking for, something like that. Or something with a that looks like a carriage door.
Right. Yeah.
And,
I think too, like what Kyle was mentioning, it would be more related to the boxy look with the triplex, right? And that roof line being just super straight, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Linda, on the semis. Those dormers need to be kind of bigger so they don't. Yeah, because right now they almost look a little weird.
Well, it also provides more space inside the units too. So that would
Yeah.
allow them to command a higher price for more square footage.
Yeah.
and A bit
And
more
then-
light as well.
Yeah, and then if you're kind of sort of suggesting too, like with the, like a barn door look or a carriage door look, to the garage without it actually being like, you know, a barn door or carriage door.
Right,
Maybe those pillars that are there as well could replicate or look similar to the previous applicant.
yeah, that was my next one I was gonna mention.
Yeah.
I can't remember the proper word for the decorative features. I had it
Yeah, I'm
written
not sure
somewhere.
what those would be called either. What are these, Jeff? What are these called? These kind of
Gingerbreading? Talk about the gingerbreading?
But
the posts. Is there a specific name?
they look like fir posts, solid fir posts.
Well,
Yes,
if you do
there's
embellishments,
no real technical name.
it depends. If you're talking
So
about
the pieces of
embellishments,
wood that go up vertical, that
Yes,
would attach to
yes,
it, there's a word
Yeah.
for that, and
yes,
I had it written
exactly.
down, I can't find it here.
Yeah. Jeff says
It
there's not
wasn't
really a technical name for it.
there isn't unless you're doing a frilly embellishments. Frilly embellishments are typically called gingerbread.
Yes, that's more, you're exactly right. That would be gingerbreading.
Okay, well,
I have a question for you. Sorry, it's Jennifer.
okay,
I brought up Google Maps of the area, and if I share my screen, I can show you houses in the area.
Yeah.
That might give you some reference to the gingerbreading and the
Right.
cornices and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that.
sure.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Just let me know when you can see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that house.
And
Mhm.
you see
There's
how the
that
roof
one.
line is not flat. They've broken the roof line up by having parts of the house that are elevated and come to a peak to break up that flat look.
Right,
And then, like you said, on the sort of semi that's there, the bigger photo, you can see the gingerbreading on the top of that peak.
Yeah, there is. I'll go down the street a bit here. There's some of the trees are in the way, but you can see those.
Yeah, see, they all have nice, like Kyle mentioned, just breaking up that roof.
right,
It's so important for the visual. I mean, if you just have that straight line, it just kills the look.
Yeah. And then a little bit
Nice
of the
one, too.
thicker trim too, sometimes around the windows and, you know, like Linda had mentioned, the details in the window themselves,
mhm,
you know, instead of it just being a rectangle, for example, there's, you know, some, separation within the windows.
yeah,
give
like
it a
some of the
little bit of a-
designs of other heritage buildings have windows that are just all solid, but then they have an arch on the top with brickwork around it, so that's what makes
Yeah.
them different.
Yeah.
So what we
Yeah,
can
for
do is just attach some
lines.
of those concepts, like a schedule to the resolution.
Yeah,
And then that gives them an idea of what you're looking for.
yeah, otherwise they won't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
This is
definitely. I
how
think
it's
that's a good
drawn.
idea.
Hard to get that.
Anybody else have any comments to make about that?
Are we good with sort of the siding in the triplex? I mean, I don't really know what
I'm
else.
not sure if it's siding or what it is. You know, it looks like
Yeah.
it. If it's so dark, it's hard to tell.
It looks like to me it would be almost like a horizontal siding, right? I like the cedar shake type look in their I don't know what the heck that thing is called, the peak area there. The gable end.
Gable, yeah.
Well, I do like and appreciate the fact that they didn't go full siding, that they have brick on the lower portion. So
Yep.
I see that they are attempting and trying, which is nice. But I'm like you, I'm not a big fan of siding. But I mean, costs are what they are.
Mhm.
If they did some kind of embellishment on the windows, kind of the treatments that we're talking about, might help that as well.
True.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
up the
true.
top roof in that side view here, the I forget what you call that, but you can get that scallop look as well by putting something in between the peak of that triangle at the top. So that differentiates that from the siding, which could be vertical siding as well. But you can get
Yeah.
siding that looks like board and batten.
Yep. Yep, you definitely can.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if they could give us a rendering of the triplex with sort of a vertical board and batten, even if it
Yeah.
was the siding, but a look of the board and batten, and just see if it kind of looks okay with the brick.
Yeah,
I don't think it would take too much to render a little bit of a different design, right? So, that could help us visually see maybe a second option.
right. Okay, so, Alice, have you put anything down in terms of what we've been saying with regards to that particular one that we could use as a resolution?
So be it resolved that the committee receives the concept designs for Z2206 on the northwest corner of Main Street West and Gordon Street, and that the following comments are recommended: that the dormers in the duplex be double the size, that the roof line be broken up, that vertical carriage style doors be used on the garage doors, that there be the addition of gingerbread embellishments, the addition of thicker trim around windows and smaller panes within the windows, and that the triplex be shown a rendering with vertical siding with the look of board and batten.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the only other thing was just maybe the pillars on the duplexes, if they could have a little bit more of a, oh gosh, I don't even know what you would classify it. Darn it. We'd have to send them, like, we would have to probably just include a picture, because there's not really a term that
Well,
you can
if we
reference.
use the one that we just completed looking at over on Main Street.
Yeah.
As an example, then they can look at that.
Yeah, just so
Yeah,
they could
basically
kind
what
of
we're
see
talking
what we mean.
Yeah.
It's not really much difference. It would just be
Yeah.
either a natural looking wood or, you know, something. Yeah, it would just be
Right.
adding those two pieces that would kind of come up from the beam itself, or the post, sorry, itself.
Okay. So who
And
wants
other than
to-
that, which was like a giant list,
Yeah.
we're good.
So who wants to make the motion that was just read out by Alice? Kyle, did you want to move that? And seconded by,
Bella, you want to second that? If not, I will.
I can second it. I'm still learning.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so Bella's seconding the motion. All in favor? Just raise hands. Okay, and that's approved. Okay, so the next item is Doors poster contest update. So who wants to give an update, or does anybody have anything they can update us on that? Other than what we have in the agenda.
I put that on there just as a reminder for the committee that this contest is ongoing. The town has been advertising it on social media and on the town website. It does indicate that we can take photographs at any time throughout the year, but just for your awareness, to date, we have not yet received any.
Yeah, so maybe we should start trying to promote it a bit again. Just to
I
remind-
was just gonna ask, are we only advertising on social media, or where all we advertise this?
As far as I'm only aware of social media and the town website, and on, I believe, on the signs, the electronic signs out front as well.
I was just gonna say, if we haven't got them up on that, would it help if I put something together for those?
Sure.
I will have to double check with Melissa if they're on there. Yes.
Could we
That's a
maybe
really
put
good
something
suggestion.
in the tax bills? Is that something we still do or can do?
For the water bill?
Yeah,
Yeah, like what, like in a brochure, like a 8.5 by 11 sheet fold that goes in there. and talks about
yeah.
it.
Where we used to put in the newsletters, is it possible to have something go out with the water bills or bills in town?
And if so, does it come out of our budget or does it come out of the town budget?
I
I would
think it
assume
was
it's
part of our
our budget.
budget.
Charles, get your food.
We can definitely look into that and get back to you for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Quick question too, do we need to, the photo contest rights and consent form, do we have to get the person we're taking the photo of the door, like the owner of the door to fill that out, sign that? Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure, because then if, yeah, just so that I know if someone asks me. Or if I take a photo, for example, I need to make sure I get their consent to take the photo of the door. Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay. So with that being said, number 6 is new business. Does anybody have any items of new business for the committee?
No, I think for me, it was, I brought it up during budget, so it was just, like I said, that new sort of idea or concept of creating something that gives a little bit of history on people's street names and you know, whatever. So that's kind of my new business, but other than that, that would be it for me.
Okay, so if that's the case, number 7 is the adjournment. So if there's nothing else that we want to discuss tonight, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Bella can move that one.
Bella? Bella moves adjournment and seconded by Lindsay. All in favor? That's carried. Okay,
All
great
right.
first meeting.
All right.
We'll see you again at the next meeting.
And I assume sort of, Alice, you'll reach out to us to make sure if the first Wednesday of the month works or doesn't work kind of idea, and then we can kind of go from there.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
all right.
Right,
Well,
have a
I'm
good
very
night.
sad to see Jennifer like not part of our committee anymore.
Yeah.
So hopefully
You
you'll
come back
like
and visit
pop
once
in
in a
every
while.
once in a while. Yeah, I'm like, maybe every once in a while she'll pop in, say
Yeah.
hey, right?
It's actually one of my favorite committees and
I know,
if I
I
could be a
can't believe you're
member, I
actually giving
would.
it up.
I could be a
I'm
member.
surprised you're actually
Well,
leaving. I
So,
thought
why
we
don't
were
we
like,
make you a member? Why don't we make you a member?
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna
There we
move a
go.
motion and Jennifer becomes a member. Can I do that?
Yeah.
I would second that one. I would
I'll
fight
definitely
Kyle
pop
to move
in.
that.
I'll pop in from time to time.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
sounds good. Okay,
All right.
well,
All
good
right,
night,
guys.
everybody.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you at the next one.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye.
Buddy.